Hello, everyone. 10 a.m. Pacific on a Thursday morning. I'm excited for all of you who are watching the replay. Well, whatever time it is for you. For us, it's early on the West Coast ish, kinda. All my lives start with rambling, so that's how we will continue this whole trend. Hi everyone. I'm Fina, and I have Lorin with me, and we are going to talk about ebooks, trends that we are seeing both from a reader and from an author perspective. The good, the bad, the ugly. Is that how you say that? I think, right? And I let Lorin introduce herself real quick, and then we'll dive right on in.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Lorin Petrazilka. I am the author of 10 books. I write anything from fantasy romance to paranormal to witchy fiction, all kinds of fun stuff in the fiction genres. And I have my books published kind of all over the place. So we have a lot to talk about regarding ebooks and availability and where to read.
Awesome. All right. And then a quick disclaimer. I think we are fine, but just in case you hear some weird banging noise in the background, I have people here working on our house right now. I know, perfect timing for all of this, but plumbing doesn't wait for appointments, so it just happens. So apologies for that. All right. Before we talk about like all the nitty-gritty details, at a high level, the reason why we are talking about it, because we are both big ebook readers. We both love reading an ebook a lot, right?
Yes. I mean, I prefer to read on ebook. I get most of my reading done that way. I do like to buy print for my shelf.
Yeah.
When I love a book, I get it for my shelf, but I actually don't really read the print books that much. I might flip back to them, but I primarily read on an e-reader.
Yeah. Which one do you have right now? What is your favorite e-reader right now?
Well, I still have a Kindle, but I am planning on getting a Kobo.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you have the regular one, like whatever it's called, Paperwhite, like just the black and white one, or do you have one of
I
those
do have a
fancy?
Paperwhite. I actually have a very old Paperwhite.
As long as they work. Like that's one of
Yeah.
the things with these, they last forever typically. So that's you don't always have to buy the newest one. The one, as long as it works, it's always fine. Yeah, I have for me, it has been a big change in the last like 1.5 years, 1.5 years. Like I splurged on a Kindle Scribe actually, like I don't know, 1.5 or 2 years ago. Got a super deal on it with like extra, how Amazon has that sometimes. You get trade in and then they had an extra sale and then they gave an extra discount. So I got it for, I don't know, a third of the price. Like, you know what? I'll try this out. I use it for work because you can write on it, right? So I take notes
Right.
for work. Spoiler alert, I never used it for work in my life. So that's not working. But I put annotations in books. And that's something that I'm really loving when I read ebooks, putting annotations in, just moments that I loved, or hey, there's a typo in here. Or stuff like that. And I'm loving that, and that you can then search your notes and see what you wrote and even export your notes. I'm a total fan of that. So, and I've been in 2025, when I did my stats at the end of the year, for the first year I read more on my Kindle than in physical format, which is super interesting. And I find myself going out of my way to get an ebook version of a book, even if I have it on my shelf and I could grab it from my shelf. I'll try to get it from a library, or I try to get it, if maybe it's on Kindle Unlimited or something. It's so weird how behavior can change. Anyway, so I read pretty much exclusively at that point on ebook, like very rarely only on physical books, which is interesting. But how behavior changes. Hello. Oh yeah, good evening for
Hello.
you. Good.
Good evening.
At least for one person, it's not late, early in the morning. That's a good thing. Humble Bundle is a big one. Yep. Itchy Yonor. I'm pronouncing this probably totally wrong. Fanatical bundle sets. I have to look that up. I've never heard about that. Ooh, price is one thing that we can talk about too. Price of ebooks has been interesting lately. Yep. Yeah, so let's get into the meat of things. As a reader, to start with that, I have seen so I used to love things like Kindle and Kindle Unlimited because a lot of indie authors put their book on it, right? So you have your whatever, 10, 11, $12, I think a month it is right now. And you have access to pretty much all indie books. And that has gone down in the last months extremely. Like it feels like a lot of authors have pulled out their ebooks from Kindle Unlimited, which means as a reader, you have less access to cool books through that type of service. I don't know if you've seen the same thing from a reader perspective. I know from an author perspective, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Definitely. So I'm connected with a lot of fellow authors, and I have repeatedly seen, on a weekly basis, my books are coming off of Kindle Unlimited, like people's updates as they're saying, you know what, I've decided to pull for one reason or another. The reasons vary, but there's a lot of authors that are leaving the platform.
Interesting. Yeah. And then and you did that too, right? As an author, you started moving your things out as well. So what are your alternatives right now because Kindle Unlimited is big, right? Everybody knows Kindle as a brand, Amazon as a brand. They know, okay, you get your ebooks there. So what are your alternatives now? Where are you going?
Yes. A good percentage of my books have come off. I still have some on Kindle Unlimited, but now let's start with Veilborn. So this is book one of my completed fantasy romance series, Veilborn. Veilborn had been on Kindle Unlimited for 5 years. It just had its 5-year anniversary from when it was published. And all that time was spent on KU. So it was a bit of an emotional decision in a way to pull it. But now Veilborn is available anywhere you buy ebooks. You can even check it out from the library. You mentioned earlier checking out ebooks from the library. When we have our book on Kindle Unlimited, the ebook is not available through the library. So you can now check it out through Libby. It's on Kobo. It's even on Kobo Plus, which is Kobo's version of Kindle Unlimited. However, there's some key points about Kobo, and we can talk about this later. So it's on that reading service. It's on Barnes & Noble's Nook. It's anywhere that you buy ebooks is now available. Even on my own personal website, I was blocked from being able to sell my own ebooks before, and now I can do that.
That is interesting. I need to ask a follow-up question on that. So with Kindle Unlimited, I don't think that is something everybody really knows that is not in the author realm. With Kindle Unlimited, your book has to be exclusive.
Yes, it is locked into their exclusivity contract. You cannot have it available anywhere else.
That is interesting. So if you want to be on, till recently, one of the biggest marketplaces for ebooks, well, at least as part of that subscription service that they were offering, you can't even have it in the library, nothing.
And it's it's a bitter pill to swallow, because we would like to be a part of the Kindle Unlimited program, but that is a pretty steep ask. Granted, we were rewarded and we got paid for pages read. So with Kindle Unlimited, the subscribers do not have to pay for our ebooks.
Yeah.
They get to read as many ebooks as they want, and we get paid for pages read. Now, we don't get paid when someone simply downloads the book. If they download the book, we have no idea. But if they open the book and read the pages, however many pages they read, is what we get paid for. And we get paid on a per page basis.
Interesting. So I could download an ebook and just click forward without reading it, and have you paid?
Yes, actually, yes. You can flip through a book, and we do get paid for that.
Interesting. So here's a way to support your authors on Kindle Unlimited.
Yes.
Just spend an afternoon scrolling through some books.
Yeah. And there are readers that I know that they have even told me, oh, yes, when I actually DNF a person's book, I'll mark it. I'll put the, little bookmark, because you can bookmark on a Kindle, and then they will slow flip to finish the book. So they're like, not for me, but I want to support the author, so I'm going to slow flip.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah. And that differs from the Kobo Plus subscription. So Kobo Plus, authors are paid for time spent reading a book. So you can slow flip a book, but we're only going to get paid a little bit, because they are actually rewarding people for writing a quality book that people are going to spend their time reading, versus Kindle Unlimited is quantity.
Gotcha. So, but then on the Kobo side, if your readers are all speed readers, you're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody is fast at reading, you know.
Okay.
Ultimately, as authors, what our goal is, I can probably collectively say, is to get people reading the books, whether
Yes,
they're
fair.
fast or slow at it.
As long as you enjoy it. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. That was
And leave
more
a
a joke.
review.
Early morning joke. Yes, leaving a review, no matter where, very important. I'm so behind on my reviews. We are not talking about that. No. Okay. So, and then Kindle Unlimited. So, but then you said you were 5 years, like with Whaleborn. By the way, great series. Go read it. It's amazing. You said you were there 5 years. So that means you actually had a good track record then for you. Kindle Unlimited was enough. So, what changed?
Yes. So I would say several things changed. And I will preface this whole discussion about what has changed with the comment that the reporting on Kindle is unparalleled. Like there is nobody that has better reporting. You can really look at all of the different stats. You can look at bar graphs. You can look at all kinds of different information that other places just don't have the same amount of. So it is great. However, it does mean that I can go back all the way to when this published back on March 1st, 2021, and see all of those stats. I can see what I got paid per page. I do have to figure that math out a little bit myself, but I can see, all right, what was my payment for the month of, and let's use an example, December 2021. Typically, December is a big month for me for readership. I get a lot of pages read. So I am able to compare December of each year to see what's my readership looking like? What is my page payment looking like, my per page payment? So in December 2021, I was getting paid $0.0045 per page.
0.0045. Okay.
Okay.
So half a cent, a bit less than half a cent.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Right?
it can vary. So that payment amount is based on the KDP Select Fund.
Okay.
So everybody's subscriptions goes into that KDP Select Fund. So the idea is that amount can change. It's going to fluctuate based on how much money is funneling into the fund. But I do suspect that the way that they allocate that fund has changed because as of this year, so it changed drastically. It was ending at 2025, 0.00465 per page. So a little bit higher even.
Yeah.
But then they made a lot of changes. That was right when they made a lot of changes. The very following month, we are looking at $0.00375 per page.
That's 25% less.
It is a substantial drop. When you are multiplying that by, I have 10 books. At the time, I had 10 books on Kindle Unlimited. And my readership, in theory, should be going up. If I've got more books available, more pages that people can read, and more popularity. I would argue I have grown in popularity a lot since this first book published.
Yeah.
However, in spite of having high reviews on Goodreads, high reviews across the board, my readership has gone down. The page count, the price per page has gone down. So I have dropped, my reads have dropped, I'd say at least 60%.
Oh, wow.
So on top of having a lower amount per page, payments, I've also had a drop in readership in spite of having more product available.
And that is via Kindle Unlimited, basically.
That's solely through Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
My ebook sales have climbed.
Okay, so you definitely have more readers.
I do, yes.
Evidently, however you pronounce that word.
Right.
Yeah. That is interesting. So glad me being a slow reader can help out an author. On Kobo Unlimited, yes.
Yes. On Kobo Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited does not care how long it takes you to flip a page.
Yeah. Well, you still get paid for the flip page, though. So at least that's
something.
Yeah. But that is interesting. So 25% less just in page value for you, and then less readers. So you could make I mean, obviously we don't have any proof points really, but I mean that there is an assumption there where you could say like, okay, so readers are canceling their Kindle Unlimited subscriptions as well, so that it is kind of visible.
Yes. I do
Yeah.
think that that's the part that is very difficult to pinpoint.
Well, yeah.
What is causing the drop in readership? Because I do believe I put out quality products. I put out books
Yes,
that
you
I
do.
invest my time.
Yes, you do.
They are very edited. Thank you, Fide. So I don't believe that the issue is on my side, but that is a gray area. Where is that drop in readership coming from? Is it a drop in Kindle Unlimited subscribers? Is it a drop in visibility because the platform is continually having more and more books published?
Yeah.
That is something that is, of course,
Well, and the price is going up, right? I mean, for me,
yes.
the thing was like whatever, a year, 2 years ago was $10. Then they increased it to 11. And then not too long ago, maybe beginning the year, end of last year, beginning this year, they increased it to 12. So that was not too long ago. And $12 is a lot. Like for someone, I mean, I don't know how many that I would love to get my hands on stats from Amazon, honestly. On I'd love numbers and I'd love to dig into that. But what I'm curious about, like how many people who are subscribing to Kindle Unlimited read exclusively Kindle Unlimited. I wouldn't. I have books through other means that I'm also reading. So when I had Kindle Unlimited, I read 1, 2, maybe 3 books from Kindle Unlimited, and then a bunch of other books from the library, what I had here, whatever. So for $12, that's a lot, especially thinking, I read indie a lot, and indie books you can get them for 99 cents, for $1.99, for $2.99. I mean, yes, there are some that are $9.99, and if you read exclusively books that are $10, yeah, and more in the month, sure. But most of them are kind of in the $1 to whatever, $5 realm, roughly. Again, I don't have specific data. That's my gut feeling. But then, so as a reader, I understand then saying, hey, the price goes up. So my value that I get out of the service goes down. So why then I don't just buy the ebook and be good with it, right?
Right. And there's also the issue of ownership. When you're reading a book on Kindle Unlimited, you do not own the book.
Yeah.
You
Although we
cannot.
could now argue about, there was some controversy on Amazon too with, do you even own the book that you buy
Yes,
there?
they can remove it from your library.
Yeah.
Which is
see, there you go.
kind of part of the whole issue with people starting to siphon away from the Amazon platform in general.
Yeah.
Because of issues like that. That is just one thing, one aspect of things that they have done in recent history.
Yeah.
We have the ability for them to remove books from your library, even if you've paid for them. They have the introduction of AI, where authors cannot opt out of this. Your book can be scraped by AI for someone to summarize the book. And that's problematic because it has shown to be faulty.
Inaccurate. Yeah. Well, welcome to AI. AI tends to be inaccurate. Yes. So, I mean,
right. It's like hallucinating part of the book and giving a potential reader a false view on what this book is. And therefore, some of them are not picking it up. And then authors are pushing back saying, this isn't even correct. This is not a correct summary of my book.
Yeah. And then as a reader too, what's the whole point if I'm getting, I'm reading a book because I want to go word by word. I want to get the writing, right? I want to get the experience. I want to discover the story the way it was meant to be and not just get a 10-minute summary of, this is what the book is about. Congratulations, you skipped reading.
Right.
I mean, there is a whole argument on once you're done reading, just to summarize it again and remind yourself or whatever. But I mean, do you really need it at that point? I don't know. I find this whole feature a bit questionable, to be honest, but that is
and it is optional for the reader. They don't have to explore the AI summary, but as authors, we don't like having that there. We don't want our books funneled through this.
Yeah. And do you have any, did Amazon give you any information? And now that we're talking AI here, did Amazon give you any information on how the information is being used, like what they're doing with that data? Because there's AI that trains from all your information, and then there's supposedly AI that is blocked and it's not being used to train something. Like, did Amazon give you any information on how they're using that? Do you know that by any chance?
I don't know that. I do not believe that they did give us information. That is a very good question, though, and something that I would like to dive further into on whether or not this is contributing to like an actual language model where they're training further and what will that be used for? I don't believe that they disclosed any of that. They may have said this is just a summary feature.
Yeah.
But is that an outright promise that your book is not going to be used for an LLM? I don't believe so.
Yeah. Well, and that's interesting because it's your work, right? So it's not their product where they're putting this feature on. It's your guys' work, your and all the authors, right? So it's kind of they should consult with you in some way, or at least disclose, listen, this is what's coming and this is what it means for you. Since you're exclusive with us, right? Especially for those that are in Kindle Unlimited, meaning that is coming to your books if you want to or not, and then at least tell me what it is that I'm signing up for here, or what I've signed up for, right? Like that would be interesting.
Definitely. And it's a big concern, right? Because
Yeah.
AI is permeated pretty much every corner of all industries. We could pretty
Get
much
your
say
toothbrush with AI. Yes.
every industry. But in the book industry in particular, in publishing, AI is hugely pushed back against by the community in general. Authors that are caught using AI are losing their readership. They are heavily judged for using it. And so we are, as a collective, trying everything we can to keep our distance from it, and then to be forced into it. It's really an extra layer where we have not opted into this. We don't want to be a part of it. And there are multiple reasons for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I also wonder if AI is one of those reasons, because in addition to that feature on the Kindle itself, there's also the conversation around AI creating a lot of books, right? There was a New York Times article with that one author that claimed she wrote, I don't know, 200 books. She actually did an AMA on Reddit, which I followed along, where she was explaining what she's doing and how she is writing all of these books. Interesting to read, let's put it that way. But she's not the only one that is writing books using or heavily influenced by AI, heavily written by AI. And I'm not talking like Grammarly or stuff like that, right? Or some basic research things. That's one thing. I'm talking like fully, I have this idea, here's 5 character names, throw it into an AI and the AI spits out something, more or less, with extra work. But there's also an argument to have that also adds to the whole Kindle Unlimited not being great anymore, because now all of these people throw their stuff into Kindle, sign up potentially for Kindle Unlimited, and then as a subscriber, you get all of these garbage books. Like, I haven't officially read an AI book, not that I know, so I can't say how good the quality is. I don't know, knowing what I write with AI on marketing stuff, not books. Different topic. I know it's not great. So, but I wonder if that is also a thing that readers realize more, or think more, are more aware of, okay, the quality of the book that I'm reading on Kindle Unlimited might not be that great anymore, or not all of them are that great anymore. And that's why they're unsubscribing, or looking for different venues.
Yeah, it's a fair comment, because it very well could be contributing to the fact of the possible fact that people are unsubscribing, because the platform is becoming more saturated with questionable works.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, I think that was always a problem, no matter where, right? But I think it's exaggerated since the use of AI, like especially in the last 1 to 2 years, mostly the last year, really, where AI got to a point where you're like, okay, you can actually do something with it. It's still not great, but it's more usable now for a lot of people. And if you read that AMA from that author who has various pen names and writes 200 books with AI, she talks through how she does it and how she manages to create all of these books, and how she handles like her ideas and how the AI actually writes stuff. It is interesting from a just understanding how AI works perspective, but my goodness, scary to see how easy it is, or how effortless it can be to publish hundreds of books really, really quickly. Again, no idea of how the quality. I don't know any of her pen names, so I don't know. I couldn't download any to see if it's any good or anything.
Yeah, I also don't know whether or not I have read a book primarily written with AI, but I do believe that it's a big problem. And we were already having an issue with people pushing back against Kindle Unlimited books just kind of getting shoved out into the world.
Yeah.
more the comment was that they were unedited.
Yeah.
They could have used a much harsher, or maybe not harsher, but more stringent look at the book, or more passes at editing. And that has been a comment for a very long time. And it was adding to the view that independent books were less than because they felt just pushed out into the world. And if we're just pushing out a higher volume of books like that, and maybe with the AI books, I would think that they're potentially more quote unquote perfect. They're not going to contain human errors, right?
That's
and I
true.
would think
There
that
won't be
that
any
would be,
typos. Yeah.
yeah,
But it
I
will
would think
sound
that would be
funky.
a kind of like a hallmark of, well, if what your complaint is a typo, I would argue that that's a sign that a human has written this book.
Yeah. Actually, that's pretty good. I left my typos in there. Like, I don't know. Is that going to be the argument going forward? I left my typos in there. So, it's honestly so I work in marketing, right? So on the marketing side, because I read a lot of just marketing news and marketing conversations, there has been conversation about social media posts being too polished and being too AI sounding and all that stuff. And there was conversation about, we are just going to leave typos in there now so people know this was written by a human and not by I mean, like, I don't know, that you need to think into that direction at this point is interesting. So yeah,
it
but I
has been a thought of mine though. When I was reading a book and I started to question, like, is this book AI? And then I read a typo and I'm like, nope, an AI would not have done that. I'm assured that this is a person.
Yeah, and that thought actually is, I find, really scary because you see that all the time now, not just for books written, but also book covers, art, music. There's this was made with AI, but without any real proof or anything. It's just this was made with AI. And there are people on the writing side that I know, again, you can see that on, like, there are multiple Reddit groups that are talking a lot about these topics right now from like self-published author perspective, that are like, I put my book through one of those human AI detectors and it said it's AI, but I wrote this thing. Like, AI was not even near this thing, but it spit out that this is AI written. So I'm sounding like an AI now. So there's this witch hunt aspect now too that authors have to be worried about. I feel bad. Like, do authors now have to record themselves writing so people can then see, no, I really wrote this and you can see my screen, there was no AI involved in any given. It's scary.
It is scary. As an author, it's definitely something that I'm worried about. And I would be 100% sure if you put this book into an AI detector, it's going to return, oh, this is whatever. This was published 5 years ago.
Yeah. AI was not a thing.
Spent 4 years writing it. I have all of the drafts to prove it, but it doesn't change the fact that somebody could do that. Somebody could put it into a detector. Also, a side note, like, the idea of putting something into AI to detect AI is such circular, crazy thinking to me. It's like,
we use AI to figure out if it's what did I read? I read an article today. So there's this Google AI thing, right? If you do a Google search, there's also now this AI summary up there. And they used a tool to check all of these answers Google AI is giving. And it was, I don't know the exact numbers anymore, but like 20% of those were just blatantly wrong or wrongly quoted, or it was where the article that it was pulling in was wrong. And then there was a comment at the bottom of the article too that said, well, this is an AI tool now checking the work of AI. And that AI tool also said things wrong, I don't know, 50% of the time. So you're like, so now you need to double check the AI tool that you use to double check the other AI tools. Like, oh, worlds we're living in. So, but going back to ebooks, I think, like, especially in the talk of AI, I think it's even more important on getting to know the author, like this whole relationship, right? Like, because now then you can say, like, okay, this is a human being, like this person is like you, active on TikTok, active on Instagram, is sharing their experience, is even maybe sharing like shorts where they're sitting on the table writing, right? Like that you build a relationship with the author and then get to know them better that way. And you can't necessarily do that on Kindle, but you can do that when they find you through your website or through the TikTok shop or through other reading apps. Like Yearn is a big one that just released recently, right? That does a lot of with community and involving the authors into conversations and whatnot. And I wonder if that is the way going forward, if we are seeing like the first steps of that right now.
Yes, and I will say, so I am not an announced author yet on Yearn, but my series will be on Yearn starting very soon. All of my books are with them. So Veilborn, the complete series, also Song of Blood and Mist, which is part of the Veilborn series. And Yearn is, they must be human created works. So they are vetting their books to make sure that these books are written by humans. These are curated books. They want to make sure anyone on their platform is someone that they're approving. The Amazon as a publisher is great for someone who wants to publish their book, whatever it is. Yeah. It is easy to use. You can get your book out there. They have tools to help you, but there is nothing preventing someone from pushing out anything.
Yeah.
And I would say that that is a big difference. Whereas Yearn, we are going to see a lot of quality control.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, just a quick, Yearn is an app. It's a reading app. The website is yearn.media, just in case you want to go look it up. It's also a subscription service specifically for romance, fantasy romance, romantasy, cozy fantasy, that kind of stuff, right? Like that's kind of that's where they're currently in as subgenres. And it's pretty much all indie authors that can sign up for the service, and then you sign up for the subscription. And as part of the subscription, you can read everything or listen to everything. It's both ebook and audiobook, if the audiobook is available, of course. And it's an iPhone app right now. They're working on an Android app, which I believe is released soon in April. It's not too long ago. Yeah, and they have a community aspect. So it's not just a reading app where you download your books and listen to your audiobooks. There's a big community aspect. So it has like a little bit like Goodreads, where you can create TBR lists and where you can interact with other members of the app, and where you can put out polls with like, hey, what's your whatever favorite device you're reading with, or what is like your favorite subgenre. And it has like a bunch of like search functions where you can search for, I want everything paranormal romance, or I want stuff with 0 spice, or I want stuff with 5 spice thingy magics, chili
peppers. Yeah.
Oh, God, that's starting hunger. So it's really interesting how they're doing that. And that's interesting that you say that too, that they're also vetting things before. I wasn't fully aware of that, but it's a different way of consuming books. And I've used it before. I tested it out. I was part of their beta program. And I read a couple of books. It's really good. Like they did an amazing job putting that together. They're still developing on a bunch of things, but really great company for doing that.
Yes. And they are a big reason that I decided to leave the Kindle Unlimited platform, because I would not have been able to put my books on Yearn.
Yeah.
If I were still with my Kindle Unlimited contract. Now, the contract with KU is fortunately very flexible, or I'd say moderately flexible. It is a 3-month term, so an author can opt out at any time, and they can decide not to let it auto renew. So it will be a minimum of 3 months, but it will just auto renew unless somebody decides to go in and say, hey, I'm going to actually take it off. Mm-hmm. And then they'll have an end date. And so what I did was I went on to my books and I said, no, I am not renewing my contract. My contract will expire. And as soon as it did, I then reached out to Yearn. Yeah, and awesome. I then published my books through Kobo Plus, through Libby. I then started blanketing all of the areas that I could get my books out.
Yeah. So just in case, Sibyllin, you want to read Lorin's books, they are now on Kobo, since you only have Kobo. Highly recommend them, just saying. So when did that happen? Like how long roughly was that ago that you started switching over?
Very recently. So my contract started expiring at the beginning of March.
Oh, that is weird. That's a month now.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't really have data on how this is going financially. Typically with books, you see payments for sales and that sort of thing 3 months after it has happened. Gotcha. So for most platforms, it takes 90 days to get all of that back. So I'm not really sure how it's going. I knew that I would see an immediate drop because I did have Unfortunately, I had people reading on KU at the time that the contract expired.
No.
I know. But I also had KU. So I had Kindle Unlimited for my own subscription because I'm a voracious reader. I read all the time. But I decided to also leave the platform as a reader.
Yeah.
And I had a book that I was reading on KU and they let me finish it, but I only had a limited amount of time. So after my subscription ended,
Interesting.
so I don't, from the author perspective, I don't know how long they gave readers to finish my book on KU. I do think that there might have been a grace period for them.
Gotcha. But you have to have started the book, right? If you just
Yes.
downloaded it, not started. Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yes,
Well, that's
exactly.
nice at least.
Yeah.
That
I
they
want to
let
say
you
they
finish
gave
it.
me about, it might have been 30 days to finish. It
Okay.
might have
Yeah, I
been less
mean,
than that, or 21 days to finish the book that I was reading.
that's
But
fair though. That's
they
good.
did let me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, then we just meet again in about like 3-4 months to see how your sales are doing. Well, one of the things that I have been looking more into is the author's website too. That was one of my things, just getting away from any of these services in general and getting them directly on the author website. And I've seen a lot of authors use services like BookFunnel then to help with, still keeping it safe. So it's not a download and share with all your friends type of situation, but still safe. Because I mean, let's face it, that's one of the big advantages with Kindle, right? That like anything piracy related, they really keep it tight. So you can't like really tight. So you can't share it really with anyone.
Well, that is something that they changed, though. That was yet another thing that was very concerning. So
Oh.
they did, for any new books published through Amazon, they were disabling DRM.
Oh.
So you would have to physically enable DRM, which stands for Digital Rights Management. New books would have that disabled. That doesn't mean that you can't change the settings yourself. But if you don't know that, if you're a new author and you don't know about this, it's going to publish with that. In addition to that, people could also download a PDF.
Yeah.
And this is very problematic because there's Ocean of PDF, which is where a lot of pirated books have been found.
Interesting.
The book Shy Girl, if you heard about the whole Shy Girl debacle, this is very related to AI and everything that happened with that. The book that was run through the AI detector was downloaded illegally through Ocean of PDF. So having a book available automatically as a PDF is very concerning as an author. So this is another reason that us authors were leaving the platform. There were books going through AI summaries, the removal of DRM and the ability to download a PDF. And there's also the sudden account cancellations that a lot of authors have been experiencing. I haven't had this happen, but I know this has been a weekly issue where there's multiple people getting their accounts suddenly canceled. So we have more than one reason to consider leaving the platform. And then we have exclusivity. So we can then have it on our own website, like you were saying, with a BookFunnel. You have a link on I have this now on my own website. I was able to add a link to download the ebook, but it gets sent through a BookFunnel so that it is for that person, not widely available. It's when you purchase, then you get your automatic download.
Yeah. Well, I remember also on the DRM site, and that again, that is more the reader view of Kindle, because I have a Kindle too, and I'm not going to get rid of my Kindle. I spent a lot of money on this, so I'll keep it. But I find other ways on getting my books on there. But one of the things that I read, and I don't know the exact details anymore, but that they have their own some sort of security system around it now. So as an example, I get a lot of ARCs, right? Like advanced reader copies in ebook format that people send me via email or that I download from BookFunnel, and then I download them on my computer, and then I use a service either like Calibra or that send to Kindle feature to send it to my Kindle. So those books are like, those files are my files, right? And they should be in the format I received them, which is typically EPUB. That's usually the format I receive them, and they should be on the Kindle in that. And they changed something where the moment you have it within the Kindle system, they're changing the format. So if you go back and then download it from your Kindle, it's in a weird encrypted format that the Calibra tool or my computer cannot see anymore. So that was also a change that kind of irritated me as a reader, where I was like, those are not your books, guys. Like, those are things that I got from the author directly or through BookFunnel or NetGalley, or, I bought it on Humble Bundle or whatever service. And all of a sudden you're changing the format of my book to something proprietary that I can then not change back when I pull it down from your service. That's so weird. That also happened like at beginning last year, I believe, is when that whole thing started, and they gave you some time to do whatever. But like all the books that I uploaded since then, I could not download them to back them up, right? Like if I lost anything on my computer, I could not download them from my Kindle as a backup. They would be in a format nothing else can read it. So
I do wonder how long it will take Calibre to offer an update that is going to be able to convert, because Calibre is a really good conversion software, and maybe that will be able to fix that problem somehow.
Yeah, we'll
because
see.
I do think that that's very problematic.
Yeah. Yes, because your Kindle is not a closed system, right? It's not like Apple where everything is like very specific and only within Apple. Like with a Kindle, I can upload other books to the device. Like it's a device first and then the Kindle system second, kind of, if that makes sense. But I have the ability to upload other things there, and it's like making it more difficult. The uploading is fine, like getting it on there is fine, but getting it off of it, that's the problem. And that's where I as a reader also am a little bit not okay with, because this is my book. I bought it outside of your system, and now because I put it on your system, you're making it so I can use it anywhere else. That's weird. Come on. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting times. I mean, it's Amazon in general, right? There was a lot of stuff going on with Audible too, and the Audible Plus catalog and payment for that. There were so many conversations around that as well. So Amazon is going down an interesting way, more Amazon friendly. There's less author friendly from what it sounds like in all aspects. So yeah, it's interesting to see, what other options there are, and what other services will take over for that. I haven't tried Kobo yet. Do you have any experience with the Kobo system and because they also have a subscription service, right? Like the Kobo, what is it called? I don't know, probably not unlimited.
It's called Kobo Plus, and I do know that it is less expensive than Kindle Unlimited. And as an author, we can be a part of the Kobo Plus platform. So readers can access it through their subscription, and we get paid for the time spent, as I mentioned earlier, but we are not locked into exclusivity, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I am signed up for the Kobo Plus for my books that are available there. But I would be interested if Zivlin is still online, because they mentioned that they have Kobo.
Mm-hmm.
I do not currently have one. I plan to get a Kobo, but a Kobo reader is, it's an investment. They have some really cool options. They have one that's like your Scribe, where you can write on it. You use different colors. You have a stylus. It seems like a lot of fun, a really fun way to annotate your books.
Yeah.
So that's something that I plan on doing. And I will be supporting my fellow authors that way. Currently, I still have my Kindle, so I'm still buying books through Kindle. But yeah, so I'd be interested as well to find more about what people's user experience is with Kobo, because I have heard that the library system is a little bit wonky, but it just takes a little bit of learning. You have to just learn your way around the platform, and once you get comfortable with it, then it's not so bad.
Yeah, I wonder if that is similar to, because they have to have a different right. It can't be the same as what Amazon has. They would get a copyright lawsuit or something from Amazon probably if it would look exactly the same. But yeah, I wonder if that is like when I talk to Windows users who switch to Mac, it's always the same conversations that I have with how does the Explorer work? That looks so different here, and where do I find my files now? And it's just okay, you need to get used to the system and understand how it works. I wonder if it's similar, that you just after a while, like you get used to it. Just an account since I got ebooks. I don't have a Kobo yet, just an account since I got ebooks from a bundle some years ago. Was that like a Humble Bundle thing? Because I had that where I bought, which one was it? The Dragonbone chair, like the Memory Sorrow Thorn series. I bought that and then realized, it's Kobo only. Is that like one of those bundles you're talking about? But yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, I think e-reader, yep. Okay, gotcha. Yep. I think e-reader is e-reader, right? I think they're pretty much all the same. as long as the screen is in a way that it is comfortable reading and that it doesn't hurt your eyes after a while, right? Like that. I'm not an expert in screen technology, but I know on an iPad, my eyes start hurting after an hour. But if I read on a Kindle with that specific screen that they are using, it's much better and I can read for hours without any issues in that
Yes,
regard.
and that was one reason that I never wanted to upgrade to like a Kindle Color
Yeah.
because it's a standard screen. I've already got enough exposure to that. A backlit screen will really wear your eyes out quickly.
Yeah.
And also battery is going to be affected by that. One of the benefits of these e-readers is battery life is amazing. You can load them up with a bunch of books. You can go on vacation and literally never charge it.
Yeah. Like with my Scribe, I didn't think that would be the case because, bigger device and you can like more functionality at weeks. I never need to worry about that thing running out. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I do want to find out about is Kobo, if there's like if we on the phone can read Kobo through an app, because Kindle does have that. There's the Kindle app and you can pick up your ebook because it's all linked through your account.
Yeah.
If you're reading an ebook on your Kindle, you can then sync up and just read on your app and get so much reading done because of that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, they have an app too.
Okay, great.
So this is just my library here. Oh, Terry Pratchett was the other one that I bought on Humble Bundle, and that was Kobo exclusive. But yeah, so they do have an app. Hang on, where did it go? So those are all my reading apps that I have at this point, but there is a Kobo app for iPhone, so I assume for Android probably too, that you can download. And that's definitely one of the things. The Barnes and Noble, because I saw that there too. They have their Nook service also as an app as well. So you could read it on your whatever iPad, iPhone, stuff. Oh yeah, I got those too. The Mercedes Lackey Valdemar books. I got those two on Humble Bundle. I have too many books. I buy too many books. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm with you. On the phone reading, even on an iPad, bigger screen, but just something about that screen makes me not want to read for too long on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great if you're like at a doctor's office and you're like, shoot, I forgot my book, and you just want to read something while you wait. Perfect.
Yeah. It's a last resort, but it's something.
Yeah. Awesome.
And that's a good point about Nook. So this is my old dusty Nook here. I still have my Nook. And this was my first, not this particular one, but Nook was my first e-reader way back in the day. I think my first ebooks were Brandon Sanderson, the Mistborn series. And I just instant love for ebooks. I had the super old Nook and I was exclusive to the Nook platform, but then I started having issues with availability because certain books that I would want were not available on Nook. And so this is a long running problem that is primarily caused by Kindle Unlimited's exclusivity.
Yeah.
Because if somebody wanted to sign up for the KU service as an author, they've got to remove it from Barnes and Noble. They can't be on that platform anymore. And so I started finding that the books that I wanted to read were no longer available on Nook.
Yeah.
And it was smart of Amazon because they funneled people away from the platform by doing that. But now we're on the other side of that, where people are starting to leave the platform because of that exclusivity.
Yeah. So, and it's going to be great for all these other companies now to finally be able to show off their stuff. Yeah. Kobo Color. Yeah, I would be curious to hear your opinion once you get one, how you like it. Because I know there's also some like differing opinions on the Kindle Color version. Like some like it, some don't. So I would be curious if Kobo is different in that regard. Getting a mini iPad as that's how I started, because I'm a big Apple person. I have everything Apple. I started with because I had the iPad. That's how I started. And then I was like, ebooks are not great. Way back when. And I never used it. And then I got myself a Kindle, like a first one, like for, I don't know, it was back in Germany still €50, which is roughly the same as $50. And then slowly the Scribe for me was really the game changer.
Hi, Tati. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, I have been looking at the Kobo Color too, and I am saving up for it because don't quote me on the price, but I want to say it's around $250. And you're not really going to get any deals. Like you were mentioning at the beginning of our talk, Fine, with getting your Kindle Scribe on a great deal,
Yeah.
giving your old device, the extra deal that they had, and you end up getting it for a super low price. They're very good at that. They're good at getting you into their devices on Kindle and Kobo. You're just not really going to be able to scrape up a deal. Maybe if you wait for
That's true.
like a Black Friday. I don't know if they ever have that, but I don't see deals on Kobos. So it's just kind of like in your head, okay, I really want to switch over to a Kobo color. I'm going to need to save up that $250.
Yeah, that might be that's the difference though, because Kobo you can buy at like Best Buy in the US, whatever electronics market in whatever your country you're in. So I wonder if those are then Black Friday, Christmas, these types of days, if you can get deals then that way. I've never actually looked too closely into that. But hey, Apple girl, yay. Apple is the best system. I will die on that hill. Hey, NG. Yeah, we've been talking a little bit, but you can watch the recording for the beginning. We were basically saying AI is bad. Kindle Unlimited is doing a lot of dumb things to both authors and readers. And we started talking a little bit about alternatives for Kindle. Short summary.
Yeah, that was a very good summary. Because we're seeing a lot of authors that are leaving the platform. So I myself have mostly left the platform. So my fantasy romance series, Veilborn, had been on Kindle Unlimited for 5 years, and now I've left it. But the benefit is I have an omnibus. So I have a complete series, which is considered a different book than the individual books. So I took my individual books off of Kindle Unlimited, but you can still read my omnibus on KU. Whether or not I ultimately keep it there, I haven't decided yet. But Kindle Unlimited is a per book decision. It's not a whole account decision. So authors, if they have a backlist, they don't have to necessarily take everything off of KU. It's a per book contract.
Yeah.
So I was able to let the contract expire on some of the books that I chose and keep a couple on there as a test to see, well, am I really leaving, or am I going to see how it goes? My readership has dropped significantly on KU. So I'm not seeing a good reason to stay. That exclusivity is a big ask. And if I can put my books elsewhere and see more traction and also deliver to more readers, because like I said, I was an original Nook fan. I still love Nook. To be able to have my book on Nook. Veilborn is on Nook now. I love that. I love that for me.
Yes, that is and I find it interesting. So we talked at WonderCon also a little bit late in March. By the way, guys, if you want to watch who I met at WonderCon, there's a video on my channel down below where I interviewed 23, including Lorin, and they all pitched their books. So just in case you're curious. But I talked with a couple authors as well, and there was a similar sentiment of, yes, I'm leaving some of the books on Kindle Unlimited because I see they are doing really, really well on Kindle Unlimited, but all the others that are not doing as well on Kindle Unlimited, I'm starting to pull and put them on other platforms, like events, right? Like selling more in events, or then even services like Yearn, or putting it on Kobo, or I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you know that better than I do. If you put it on like Ingram Spark, that's kind of the distribution service that puts it then onto Apple and Barnes and Noble's Nook and all these other services. Is that right or not?
You can choose to publish an ebook through Ingram Spark. That is true. And it depends on how you define your distribution. I personally don't recommend publishing ebooks through Ingram Spark because of the royalty structure. It is going to be your lowest royalty structure through Ingram. So I actually recommend draft to digital. So that's draft, the number 2 digital. We call it D2D for short in the industry. And they are fantastic. They will publish your book wide. They will get it to every platform that you define. So when you put a book up there, you then go through and click on, yes, I want it on this one. I want it on that one. They will handle your ebook distribution. This is how I was able to quickly get this book and all of the rest of the series. So I'll just hold up the rest of the series. So these are the other 3 books in the series. This is how I was able to quickly get them on the different platforms, including Kobo. I could then elect whether or not my books were a part of Kobo Plus. so that I
Yeah.
could join the subscription service on Kobo.
Oh, that is nice. They do all of that for you, so you don't have to
All
worry
of
about.
that,
Oh, that is amazing. So on the
including
topic of
library submission. So
yeah,
libraries are on there as well.
awesome. So on the topic of I hate the exclusivity, but sometimes the only way to support certain indie authors, and that's important to me. Yes, I same. So then what you're saying basically is, so if you are actually getting out of Kindle Unlimited, you're going through Draft to Digital through other services. You don't have to give us exact numbers, but is your share higher through the Draft to Digital one? Like if someone buys a book, is your share higher that way than when you sell it on Kindle?
Uh, that is a good question. I'd say it's about comparable,
Okay,
but
well,
it
that's a good
is
thing then, at least.
far higher if somebody purchases my book, my ebook through any medium, through
Yeah,
any platform, I should say, rather than reading it through the Kindle Unlimited app. So
that makes sense.
pages read, my price per page is read, in addition to the fact that that went down on a per page basis. Even when it was really good at its highest, I was still making half of what I make when my book is sold as an ebook.
And you have your book on like deals and sales and part of those stuff, your Kindle events every now and then too, right? Like so even with sales and deals and all that kind of stuff, you still made 50% more.
Yes,
There you go.
that's
And
right.
then things like obviously when you sell it through your website, you get, well, probably not 100% because there's a cost to your website and the cost to book funnel and all that kind of things, but close to, right?
That is definitely the highest profit margin. When you purchase directly from an author on their website, they're going to make the most amount of money that way. So if the goal is to support an author and have them make the most, it's buying it directly from them and getting their direct download of the ebook. And the other benefit of that is you outright own the ebook. There is no Kindle Unlimited library issue that we've talked about earlier, where even when you purchase the book on Kindle, they then can remove it from your library.
Yeah.
So if you are purchasing it through a different platform, you don't have the issue of, is Kindle at some point going to take this out of my library and I have lost the access to it?
Yeah. Yeah. So for those authors, Angie, for those authors that offer it on other platforms, which that was one of the things that we talked a little bit earlier about, feels like, again, no, we don't have hard numbers, but gut feeling feels like more and more authors are going off of Kindle Unlimited and off of like away from that exclusivity. So hopefully you'll see more ways of supporting authors outside of that in the near future. I also, just in case you guys are interested, I made a video about that a while ago because there was a whole thing, like when this whole Amazon thing started, where they were saying like, oh, I'm getting rid of my Kindle, I'm buying a Kobo now. It's like, no, I want to keep my Kindle, but here are some ways. Like I put a video together with some ideas on how you can get ebooks onto your Kindle without paying Amazon more money, but you paid a lot of money for your Kindle already. So in case you're interested, I put that link down below. By the way, there's also a link to Amazon. I will add your website link after we're done live as well. But there's a link to Amazon, to the Amazon page for Lorin, if you want to check out her books. But and after the live is done, I will add your website as well. I didn't think anyway. So if you want to check out her books, that's also down in the description below. Oh, I think that was for the WonderCon video, right? Yeah, it was a lot of fun to put that video together. It's the second time I did this, and next year we'll do it again. We'll take 6 hours next time because I will have more authors to interview. Ingram Spark, because my local online bookstore gets their indie books from there. Physical form then, Civilin? Is it like the paperback form then through Ingram Spark, or are you talking ebooks? Is your indie bookstore selling ebooks? Paperbacks? Hardbacks? Yearn, like yearning. I'm yearning for you. Yeah. The name is we had a little bit of fun when we talked about that. It's a little bit interesting. So YEARN. Right?
Yeah. So yes, that is a good question. So I am new to the platform. I will be an announced author very soon, but I'm unofficial as of right now. My books are there, so it'll be coming. So I don't actually know how the payment structure will work. That will all be something that we'll discover as it goes. But I do know that all of the authors that are involved, that they're happy with what it's looking like so far. So I think it's fantastic that this new platform is building up, and it feels like a very solid space. It feels like people that are involved with it are very mindful and they care about the authors. It's going to be a place where authors are really supported. Thank you, Fine. That's perfect.
That's the web address, just in case anyone wants to take a look. Again, focused on like romance, cozy fantasy, romance fantasy, romantasy, like in general, paranormal fantasy, like these subgenres. But there are so many books on there already. It is crazy. Like you will definitely find something you like. I already did.
Yeah, and they're going through in waves. So they announce new authors, and
every Friday.
They meter it out so that every Friday you've got a new block of like, this is who's joined the platform, and they've gone through a vetting process. So we were talking earlier about quality books and AI and those different issues that anybody can publish anything onto the Kindle Unlimited platform or onto the KDP platform. And Yearn is really vetting their books. They're making sure these are human created works. What are the reviews like if they existed before? I believe that they're kind of looking at it from different angles.
Yeah. And they seem to be very transparent too with both readers and authors on, what they're doing and everything. They provide a lot of information in general on how they work and who they are and who they work with. It's an interesting concept. I'm really excited to see where their journey is going to go. Yeah. Yes, I 100% agree. That's why WonderCon is my favorite event every year, because I get to meet amazing people and it's always fun to listen to them pitch their book. Like I always love to see when authors get all excited about telling their own story, and then I'm all excited and then I have 30 more books on my shelves. 100%, yes. And if I can, so that is definitely something that I've been doing more as it's available, is buying directly from the website, because that's the one where you can support authors the most with, right? Buying directly from the website if they offer that. Website is big, and then any other service other than Amazon.
Yes. So is this in response to the earlier regarding your bookstore, your local bookstore, and buying through them?
So that was she bought the bookstore's physical books. Yes, that was then. But then in general, I think that was that was the answer. Like in general, you try to avoid Amazon.
Yeah. And Ingram Spark. So I do also use Ingram Spark, that you are able, as an author, we are able to use different platforms, different distributors as it fits us, as long as we're remaining within the confines of the different contracts that we're signing onto. So with Ingram Spark, I do not do any of my ebooks through them, but I do physical copies through them, so that people that are in other countries that are, using a local bookstore, they can access my books through different means. Even Ingram Spark also distributes to Barnes & Noble. So my books, my physical books, are all available through Barnes & Noble because of Ingram Spark.
That is very cool. And one thing, just because we talk physical books, I'm destroying my shelves for a second here. And I believe that is also Ingram Spark that allows you that, right? So you can order copies for yourself, and then you can do fancy things like this. So copies that for your books now specifically, I don't know, that's not true for every author, but for you books, the ones that you sell on your website have these really cool, and then also colored here, really cool edges as well. And don't show you my signed because it's dedicated with a really nice message, but come with like really cool goodies then. So that is also something, big advantage when it comes to physical books, ordering directly from the author. I don't have space.
Yes, we can do such fun things. We can do these fun extras, which I very much appreciate my distribution contract, because it allows me to sell directly as well. I am not prevented from having my TikTok shop where I, do lives and I sell my books live, or my website where I have all these fun things available, because you can't get this, as Fine was just showing, the sprayed edges. You can't get this from anyone else.
No.
So these authors that are using the distribution services, where very lucky to have that. But then we can do these extra fun things with our own book. So it's so fun.
We have a question from NG. In the long run, do you make more via ebook or physical or other way around?
That is such a good question. We do make more from ebooks. And ebooks are also zero work for us. Once an ebook is done, that is, it's essentially passive income. We spent all the time to write the book. We went through editing. We went through beta readers. At least that is my process. I go through a very stringent round of all of the work up front. And then it goes through formatting and it gets packaged into a delightful little ebook. And then my work is done. My work is then marketing for this. I do posts. I talk about it. I get it out there. But essentially, it's hands off at that point. So really, we do make a lot more from the ebooks because we're not ordering things. For this, I've got to order the prints. Then the spines get done. Then we get all of the edging. We do the artwork. I love that. But it is less profit. And the ebooks do give us a larger wedge of the profit and almost no work. So
yeah. So your revenue, basically, like the percentage you can keep from the sales price from an ebook is higher than the percentage from a paperback.
Yes, definitely. So that is an aspect to consider, but as an author, I like to do all formats. So if somebody has a preference for ebook, that's fantastic. I have that for you. And however you want to get it now, that was another benefit of me leaving Kindle Unlimited is although there are still KU readers, of course, and I'm going to lose some of them, there's a lot of people in other spaces, people that don't want to use Amazon whatsoever. You can now find it elsewhere. And if you really love paperback, then that's great. I can deliver that to you, but it is more work and it is less profit.
Yeah. But it adds that personal touch, right? Like for someone who wants to have something tactical. And the one thing that I know you love doing is when someone orders on your website, you package it up really nicely in nice paper, you wrap it, and you put like personal things in there. And I know you're not the only author. I've ordered from other authors and it was always packaged nicely. There's a little bookmark or a sticker or a note or all of it. It's just so, it's much more personal, both. And that I think is going to be the huge differentiator for indie authors going forward with all the, technology and talking to chatbots left and right and everything is automated and whatnot. Authors who are able to add that personal touch going forward will make a huge difference in just how we as a reader will experience books going forward, I think. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I'll hope that would be a thing. I prefer hardbacks. Okay. For on my shelf, yes. For reading, gah.
Yes, I love a good hardback for like a shelf trophy. They are some such beautiful, and I wish where's my hardcovers? I also offer, so I have paperbacks and hardcovers of my books, and they're just so gorgeous. But my hands get tired holding them open. What I like to keep them for is maybe a particular section of the book because I read it on ebook and then I go, oh, I love this. So I'm going to annotate that, or I'll keep my bookmark that came with my special hardcover edition and I'll keep my bookmark in that section. But for the most part, I'm not really reading them.
Yeah, as I said earlier, right? Like that is definitely something for me where I love to read an ebook now because you can write all the notes in there. I would never dare write anything into my book. I would not going to happen. But like writing in my scribe and then reading the notes at a later point is a lot of fun. Well, thankfully, we have lots of different formats, so everybody can get their own preference.
Yeah,
I find them too heavy now. Like this holding up, I'm getting, I don't know, weak muscles. I have no idea, but this is like, ugh.
If you're sitting in the right position. For me, if I'm sitting in a chair and I'm able to hold it in my lap, and I've also got my readers on, then it's fine.
Okay, let's talk reading positions real quick because now I'm interested because I don't know if my couch is weird or whatnot, but I cannot for the life of me I cannot read on my couch anymore. I tend to go into my bed and I have one of those beds where I can get the top up, so I have the top up, and then I have one of those reading pillows that are like little moon shaped from I believe Bookbow is the company, and then I cuddle up with a lot of extra stuff between my legs and the book, so my book is nice and high and I don't have to look down and strain my neck. I have to show you guys a photo of that. It looks probably ridiculous. That's my reading position at the moment.
I'm always with my ebook and I'm laying down, but I have a bed that props up as well. So I lift it up a little bit. So I'm angled slightly up, but for the most part, I'm laying down. And this is another reason that I love reading on an ebook because it's lightweight. I can keep it right there. I have seen those glasses. Have you seen these glasses that do like almost like a periscope effect where you can lay down completely and you're going to be looking here? There is a woman that does all of her social media content with those, and it is hilarious because you could just see the eyeballs in the reflection. It's amazing.
That's where we've come. I have it on my lap, sitting in the chair or couch. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm able to sit like that, then that's fine. But a lot of times my time for reading is late at night.
Yeah. So see, that's where like with a paperback or a hardback, first of all, you have to keep it open. Hardback less so. Paperback is more tricky in that it tends to fall closed easier. But when I read sitting, I cannot like have my head down for long. I start feeling it in the back of my head, and then I start getting like neck aches and whatnot. I'm at that age now where things start to ache too soon. So I need to have it up so that I can have my neck high. So I need to have like 5 pillows underneath it to then hold it up. And then it's such a weird balancing act of keeping it straight. I don't know. Reader problems. I mean, yeah, that is a true problem, especially when you read late at night like Lorin and I do. Happened more than once. Yeah. All the formats, hard, soft covers on the couch, and e-reader in bed, and audio during work. I mean, that works, I guess.
Yes, I love shelf trophies. I love all of the special editions and the sprayed edges and all of the fun stuff. But yeah. And then, if you read hardcover, you need something like this. Even paperback, these are really handy.
It would work, yeah.
And of course, I just have this like at my desk. That's the kind of reader that I am. A book is always within reach.
Yeah.
Wherever I am.
Oh, same. I have 2 books on the couch right now. I have a book on my bedside. I have one e-reader here because I don't have only one e-reader, right? I have multiple. I have one here. I have also one in the bedroom, one on everywhere. But that's the fun of it. I mean, reading is just one part of the hobby. It's all the surrounding things that come with it, I guess. Oh, man. All right. Anything else that we didn't cover yet that we wanted to talk about on the ebook site? And by the way, for those of you listening in, if you have any questions specifically, now that you have a chance to talk with an author and ask all your burning questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. And, Lorin probably won't share exact numbers, but
well, I do try to be transparent about my numbers. And we did an event in the past, a meeting in the past where we talked about different numbers and, provided data, because I did say Amazon has amazing record keeping. You can really go through and look at all of the data of your account. There is no platform that I have found that does better at showing you how you did, even on a daily basis. I could literally see when someone was reading, which is a little bit hard to not sit there and watch the page count go up when I had books on Kindle Unlimited. Granted, I still do have some on Kindle Unlimited. My Witches of Willowmere book 1 and book 2 are still on KU, and the Veilborn Omnibus, which is the complete series, is still on KU. So I can see when someone's reading, and that's really interesting.
You can stalk the reader.
Yeah. I can't see who or anything. If somebody tells me specifically, I'm reading your book right now on Kindle Unlimited, then I'll know. But a lot of times there would be multiple people reading at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'd be seeing, in the thousands many times.
Yeah. Well,
which is a little bit hard to walk away from when I see that, or there are people reading book one and I'm deciding to leave the platform, that does make the decision harder.
Yeah. But I think you found a good balance with that you're saying, okay, you have the omnibus. So if someone would want to continue or in general even start, right, they can still do that. You still have a
Exactly.
book on there, and then you just move other versions of and that's actually an interesting idea for people who have a series in general, because you have the series already, you have the individual Kindle books already, so it's probably fairly easy to combine them all into an omnibus and then say I have a specific version that I have on this exclusive platform, and then I have other versions for all the other readers somewhere else. It's actually an interesting way of sharing that.
Exactly. So I have an ebook formatter that does all of the work on my ebooks for me. I am very digitally savvy and I probably could do it, but the amount of time that it would take me is probably a lot longer than what it takes him. So I have a specific person for that job. And when the series finished, I reached out and said, okay, let's do an omnibus. So it has to be formatted properly because there needs to be what's called a TOC, that's table of contents, and it all has to be clickable. And there's very stringent rules about that so that it's a nice reading experience for the end user.
Yeah.
So that all had to go through an additional process in order to make it an omnibus that worked properly, because it also had to be separated by each book within the omnibus. But other than that, you're right. It's just the books are done. It's a matter of combining them all into one. And fortunately, it's then considered a different book. So the omnibus can live on KU and the other books could leave the platform.
Yeah. Why is financial transparency a thing? I don't share what I make with people, and I don't think authors need to tell me that unless the book is sold with the pretense of. Yeah, I mean, that is actually interesting. There is a trend right now, right, where I saw that on Instagram, where authors are starting to share, like, oh, I sold, I don't know, 10 books in April, and I made this much from it. Yeah, like recently too. It hasn't been forever like this, but
I think it's a way to engage with your people on the different social media platforms, because we're always having to come up with ways to make content and get eyeballs, and there's curiosity about it. And so if somebody wants to be transparent, if there is, let's say, somebody that is going to be publishing soon and they want to know, well, what can I expect? Somebody might be willing to share that. It's not that people are outright asking that, but I think people are finding that as a way to get eyeballs to their pages to make content, because that is a struggle. As an author, we have to find a way to get people to engage with us. And it is a mechanism to do that. I've seen a lot of people, or not a lot of people, a pie slice of people get more people interested in their books because they're willing to share, this is what I'm doing right now.
It is a little bit of a, again, reader perspective. It could be, and I don't know, I'm guessing, right? Again, on that comment, but it could be also something like, this person is selling books already, so I know they're, it's not just some random person who's just trying to put something out that no one is interested in, but people are actually buying the book, so let me try it too. Like, like a psychological thing a little bit too, from a reader perspective or a follower, not a ooh, I want to know exactly how much this person makes when I buy a book, but more okay, I see that you're making something, so your book must be good enough for people to spend money on, so let me try it too, right? Like that kind of psychological thing could be a play in that as well. I don't know.
And the question of how best to support an author, that's something I get a lot of, like, well, how are you going to make the most money, or what is going to be the best way to support you? And then I can say, well, you can purchase my ebook directly from my website. That is going to be my best profit margin, but I'm not disclosing how much my profit margin actually is. I'm not giving numbers. I am saying, if your intention is to buy a book that is going to support me, the ebook is going to be the best way. I can say with certainty that the hardcover is my least profit margin, which is surprising. It sells for $25.99 on barnesandnoble.com. Any of the distributors, that's how much my hardcover of Veilborn Book 1 costs. But my profit margin of that one is the lowest, even at what feels like a higher price to me, $25.99, because I will usually jump for a hardcover when I see a great deal on it. So then with that in mind, and I know that I'm making my lowest amount, I'm like, if you love hardcover, go ahead and purchase that it's there for a reason if you like that format. But if your intention is to support me as an author, that's the lowest. Even though the book costs the most, it's actually the one that I make the least on. I'm still not disclosing how much I'm making. I'm just saying that's the one that I'm not really making money on.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then with Kindle Unlimited, we were discussing earlier how much we get for pages read. I'm not disclosing the number of pages read that I get in a month, but I can say in December of 2025, I was making $0.00465 per page. That's me, that's all authors. However many pages we have read gets multiplied by that number. The following month, that dropped to 0.00375. So a drop of more than 20%. I'm still not disclosing my exact numbers, but I can, anybody can math. That is multiply however many pages times that.
Yeah.
And that's what we're making on just Kindle Unlimited pages read. And as subscribers, so I was a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, I had figured out that I had to read 3,000 pages, over 3,000 pages, in order to equalize what I'm spending for that $12 a month. So we can start to kind of math out how much things are really filtering down to those authors.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, sorry, total squirrel thought, because we were talking about what KU pays per page earlier already, but now that I'm thinking about it, it makes it incredibly unpredictable for you too on how much you get. Like, even if your reader number would stay same, like let's say, people read 100 pages a month, obviously it's more, but just for easy math, if every month people read 100 pages, you would get a differing amount every month because of that, just because they changed the price for. I understand the whole concept of, it's through the subscription and it's like a fund and that's how they pay that out depending on how much they got this month, blah, 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 blah. But it makes it interesting. Whereas if you have an ebook and you just buy the ebook outright for $1.99, $2.99, whatever it is, you always know how much you get from a book sale. It doesn't change. Like the royalty doesn't change.
Exactly. Unless they disclose that there is an update to that royalty structure, they will let us know. And that has happened where, hey, by the way, you're going to be making 20 cents less per ebook sale going forward because of X reasons. And then you can have the option. Are you going to change the price of your ebook in light of this? Or are you going to keep it static and just make a little bit less?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is disclosed, and it further shines a light on the problems with KU on how we don't actually know what we're going to be making on a per month basis, even if the page count were to remain the same each month.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So to summarize, buy from the website. That's your best way of supporting your indie author, your favorite indie authors. Buy from the website if they offer it. Check out other services, Kobo, Barnes & Nobles. In Germany, I know Thalia has their own. Thalia is the German version of Barnes & Nobles. I don't know in other countries what the big bookstore brands are called. And check it out if you can get it there, if you can get it from the library. If it's available on one of those services, the likelihood that it's available on other services as well is pretty high. Library too. That is definitely one thing that I've seen too. More availability of books from indie authors on my local library app. Like I use Libby a lot for that. And because of this whole, going away from Kindle Unlimited, obviously I see more on the library as well, which is great. And you still get paid from that as well. So if someone reads the book on the library, you still see a profit from that as well, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm, we do.
And then you can do it like me, where you read the ebook first through the library. And then if you like it, you just buy it afterwards. Low risk for you, still a good deal for the author. Or check out reading apps. I have a feeling that, we talked about Yearn. Yearn.media is the URL if you want to go check it out. That is just the first one that will pop up. I have a feeling there will be more services like this coming up in the next months and years that will do something similar for a specific genre. Exciting. Awesome. Anything else we want to share?
I don't think so. I will probably think of more things later because I do feel it is a vast subject. There's
Oh,
a lot to
yes.
talk about regarding this, and more than one reason on whether or not to stay on Kindle Unlimited or to leave. Ultimately, for myself as an author, I felt the benefits to staying were finally outweighed. It was finally time for me to leave and branch out, and it was a personal decision with a lot of factors. And so I do feel that there are multiple authors making this similar decision right now, and it is broadening the availability of more great books elsewhere.
Yeah. We have one more questions before we leave. Do you set the prices or Amazon on the ebook sometimes?
That is such a good question. So we do set the prices on Amazon. So when it is a direct sale for an ebook, that is set by the author or the publisher. We do not set the prices in any way with Kindle Unlimited. So that is dictated by the Kindle KDP Select Fund. We also are not in control of the prices on Audible. So if our books are available on audiobook, we do not have any sort of control with the audiobook prices. So my my series Veilborn is available on Audible, and it is produced by one person, Gina Melchiori. She did all of my books, and I cannot, let's say, put them on sale. I cannot adjust the price in any way. It is completely driven by the length of the audiobook.
Huh. Interesting. I knew that for paperbacks on Amazon that they have a minimum you have to charge for depending on the paperback length.
Yes.
So the longer your paperback is, the higher is the minimum price you have to charge for it. And then above that, you can do whatever you want, but you can't get below that.
Yes, exactly. And the same thing is on Ingram Spark as well with print copies. You will start to define what your price is, and then it'll give you a warning. If you set it at this price, you will be a net negative. You will owe money for the publishing of this book, even though it is more than the cost to print. It is because there's also the bookseller involved and the various distribution percentages. So you get advised on what you should consider setting it at, what to not set it below, and then make the decision from there.
Yeah, which makes sense, I guess. Awesome. Yeah, go check it out. They on their website, they do a pretty good job on showing what it looks like. It is a subscription service. I believe it's $9.99 is, I believe, the regular monthly price for that. If you hold off a little bit, I think they provide codes every now and then where you get like the first month cheaper is, I believe. I'm not 100% sure yet, but if you hold off a little bit, I can give you something too, so you can check it out at a lower cost, at least for the first month or the first 2 months, something like that. So, but go check it out. Check out the website to see if it's something for you, and then if you're interested, you know where I'm at. So we'll find each other again.
Yes, because you are an affiliate with Yearn.
Not yet.
So you are in process.
Yeah,
and I am in process of becoming an official author with them. So either through an affiliate or an author, you can usually I do believe they will be providing things like that to help.
I believe so. Yes,
get things off the ground and support the service. It is location based. So right now, I believe it's only functioning properly in the US. You can't access the website through other countries.
Okay.
So this is something important to note. They are working on other countries, but so far it's based out of Delaware, and they disclose that they're like, well, if you choose to go on this website, it may not be up to international standards yet.
Gotcha. They are pretty quick, though. I mean, they started in February, on Valentine's Day. That was their official with iPhone, and now they already have the Android app. Either it's in the next days. I believe it's like the 10th, which would be tomorrow. It's sometime in the next days. Early April is when they provide the Android app, and they constantly provide new features. So they are really, really fast in putting things out. So I'm not too worried that they will have other countries soon available for that service as well. So Yeah. There will be some time, again, since it's all pretty new still, and we're figuring things out, there will be another specific video about that service as well, because I find it interesting and I want to talk about it a bit more too and show you guys what it looks like and all that fun stuff. So definitely keep an eye on for that. And then hopefully by then I have my Tuck from the US. Well, Tuck is thank you. So it probably doesn't make sense. My only Danish that I know is Tillykke med fødselsdagen, and I probably butchered it horribly. My parents used to go to Denmark all the time for vacation, and they had like one of those houses at the beach where they went to all the time. I love Denmark, great country. I have to go one again soon. Anyway, scroll thoughts. Sorry. So there will be a video about that where we talk more about that, and by then, who knows where they will have it available too. So keep an eye on that. Awesome. Well, with that, Lorin, thank you so much for coming by. I mean, as I joked earlier before the scene, the real reason why we got together, so we just get to talk for an hour again because we haven't in a while. So that was amazing.
We do love our catch-ups.
Yes. Thanks everybody in the chat for joining us, for asking questions. If you have any additional questions on the review, on the recording, just put it down in the chat. I will let Lorin know if there's a question for her so she can jump in and answer them as well. Don't forget to check out Lorin's books. They are fantastic. I've read nearly all of them. I'm missing only one at this point, and I'm excited to get to it very, very soon. Go check out. I have the Amazon link down below. I will add the link to her website as well, so you can find her books also there. And then have an amazing Thursday afternoon, Thursday day, weekend, everything.
Thursday night.
Yes.
Everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. That was great to have you stop by. Vinay, thank you so much for your time. This has been an excellent chat.
Yes. Was very interesting, definitely. Good to know that we have options now.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right.
Happy reading, everybody.
Great evening. Awkward waving till the service.